Ethan, get out of my car. You're just a butler's son. What right do you have to sit in my family's Rolls Royce? A spoiled girl pointed at my nose, full of disdain. The surrounding classmates' gazes instantly turned mocking. I was a bit stunned. When it sank in, I flew into a rage and kicked her away. Is this car yours? How dare you touch it? Then I looked at the housekeeper. Throw out everything that belongs to her and her mother from my house. This is outrageous. The daughter of a maid actually dares to act so domineering in front of me. I actually transmigrated into a book. I ended up in a simp novel and became the simp supporting male to win over the nanny's daughter, Luna. Even though I'm the CEO of a 100 billion company, I was willing to lie to the world that I'm the butler's son and treat her like a true heiress. Not only was I treated like a servant by Luna and made to do her bidding, I also had to play along with her act and was even told not to get too close to her. To let her live in peace, I kicked myself out of the house. To let her experience being a company's chairman, I drove myself out of the company. To be good friends with her, I didn't hesitate to give her all my shares and casually said, "As long as you're happy, Luna," then signed the shares transfer agreement. But in the end, Luna said to me, "I've been improving, and you? You can't stand in the way of me pursuing a better life, can you? Do you think someone as worthless as you deserves me?" With that, she ruthlessly abandoned the original owner. At that time, she was even angry. Don't think that just because you transferred the shares to me, I'll fall in love with you. What do you take me for? Do you think I'm a kind of person who values material things? I'm an independent heroine. It was you begging me that made me accept the shares. In the end, Luna not only seized the original owner's billion-dollar company, she also won over campus heartthrob Dylan, becoming the book's true leading heroine. This plot is simply outrageous, ridiculous, a complete disregard for the reader's feelings, a fake heroine story. It's hard to imagine a normal person could write this plot. Is the author being irresponsible, or did they simply not consider the readers at all, only focused on writing big heroine feel-good points, without any regard for whether readers can accept it? Since I've transmigrated here, I'll personally rewrite the plot and completely expose this so-called heaven-defying big heroine. Oh my God, what's going on? The Johnson family's daughter Luna was actually kicked by the butler's son, a classmate exclaimed. Damn it! Ethan couldn't be so enraged from not being able to win Luna's affections, could he? This is outrageous. He even dares to hit the master. There's a show coming. I bet Ethan will get slapped by Luna any second, then kneel and beg for mercy. They were all waiting to see me humiliated. Luna covered her face, looking incredulous, then screamed, Ethan, how dare you hit me? You, the son of a butler, dare strike me, a lady of the family? Aren't you afraid I'll fire you? You've gone too far. Kneel down and apologize at once, or you're finished. A laugh from anger. Are you kidding me? Who do you think you are to fire me? Didn't you hear what I just said? You and your mother will be driven out of the Johnson family immediately. The classmates were all stunned. What's going on? Who's kicking whom out of the house? Is Ethan trying to muscle in on them? This is outrageous. Maybe not. Didn't you hear Ethan say this is his Johnson family? His last name's Johnson too. Could it be Luna is an imposter? This is explosive. Who's lying to whom? Luna's face turned very ugly. She raised her voice and shouted, You're just the son of the butler. I've spoiled you too much. That's why you dare to ignore me. Be sensible and get down here to apologize. Count out to me 3 times, or you'll pay for it. Then she lowered her voice, urgent. Are you crazy? Aren't you afraid I'll be mad and ignore you? Hurry up and get down. Don't throw a childish tantrum. I pretended not to hear and said impatiently, Get lost, get lost. I don't have the habit of apologizing to servants. Then I was about to close the car door. Luna panicked and quickly grabbed the car door. Do you want me humiliated in public? Get down now. I really will get angry. I glared at her. Don't touch my car. You can't afford to pay for it. Then I shouted for the bodyguards to pull her away. 2 suit-clad bodyguards immediately climbed out of the nearby SUV, hoisted Luna up and tossed her to the side, sneering, Does she really think she's the Johnson family's heiress? Bah! The classmates erupted into a frenzy. Oh my God! Luna's heiress persona is fake. Could this be fake? They were thrown aside by the Johnsons' bodyguards. They couldn't even touch the car door. Is Luna about to be disgraced? This is huge. Record it and post it on social media. They all took out their phones to film. Luna panicked completely and hurriedly protested. It was Ethan. He bribed the butler and the bodyguards. He'll stop at nothing to win me over. Once I get back to the Johnsons' house, I'll fire them all. Then she screamed at me. Ethan, do you think they'll make me notice you? Make me like you? Dream on. I'll only hate you more. I sneered. Like you? I'm the eldest son of the Johnsons. What kind of woman can I find? Like the daughter of a maid? Am I out of my mind? Who's the one daydreaming here? I'm too lazy to argue with you. You'll all be driven out soon. After saying that, I told the butler to drive away. What the hell? She actually thinks she's a rich miss. I'll expose her disguise step by step and ruin her completely. Young master, are you really going to stop associating with Miss Luna? The butler asked uncertainly. Do you really want to drive the mother and daughter away? I felt furious inside. The daughter of a servant. What right does she have to be called Miss? Don't ever mention her again. The butler's eyes instantly filled with tears. He had long disliked Luna, but the previous young master seemed bewitched and wouldn't listen to anyone. Good young master. You should have done this long ago. There are plenty of women like her. She has no right to put on airs in front of you. I waved my hand. My phone vibrated. It was a message from Luna. Ethan, how could you embarrass me like that in public? I'm telling you, this isn't over. I was about to block her when she sent another message. I'll give you one last chance. Come over and kneel to apologize. Kneel for an hour. Then write a 10,000 character self-criticism and tomorrow apologize to me in front of the whole school. Or I will never speak to you again. I mean it. What a lunatic. She ignores me. What kind of punishment is that? Just wait until I completely kick her out of the Johnson household. Let's see if she'll beg me crying. I immediately blocked and deleted her. After I got home, I suddenly heard arguing coming from the room where my mother used to live. I frowned and went over and heard someone say, Mrs. Reed, how dare you barge into Madam's room on your own? You even stole Madam's jade bracelet and slept in her bed. I must tell the eldest young master. So what of it? Mrs. Reed said righteously. Ethan said it. I can live wherever I want. And who doesn't know he's courting my daughter? I'll be the lady of the Johnson household someday. What's wrong with getting used to it early? You're just a servant. What right do you have to be this arrogant? I advise you to be sensible and mind your own business, or I'll have Ethan fire you. I was instantly furious. I'd already said that no one but the cleaning aunt was allowed into my mother's room after she died. This Mrs. Reed not only slept in my mother's bed, she stole my mother's favorite jade bracelet while she was at it. I walked into the room with a dark expression and said to Mrs. Reed, Mrs. Reed, what is going on here? Give me an explanation. Mrs. Reed looked at me, startled for a moment, then pretended to be calm and said, My back has been bothering me lately. This room was empty anyway, so I came in to sleep for a few days. I've already told Luna. Sleep my foot, I shouted angrily. Did I ever say that random people are allowed in my mother's room? And look at how you left my mother's bed. You even went through her jewelry box. The quilt on the bed was in a mess, and 2 stinking socks were thrown on it. The jewelry box had been tossed about, its contents scattered everywhere. My mother was obsessive about cleanliness when she was alive. She couldn't stand a sight like this. Mrs. Reed didn't pick up on my anger at all. Instead, she said angrily, What are you yelling about? Who are you calling a useless bystander? I moved in because I respect you. That's why I was willing to live here. Otherwise, do you think I enjoy sleeping in this place? How dare you shout at me like that? Apologize to me right now, or else don't even think about marrying my daughter. Hopeless. I couldn't be bothered to argue with her, suppressing my anger as I looked at the butler. The nanny broke into the master's room without permission and damaged things. How should we handle this? The butler's eyes went cold as he said, For the damage caused, she must pay 3 times the cost, then withhold 3 months' salary, and kick her out of the Johnson household. I said coldly. Then handle it by the rules. The butler immediately called the bodyguards. Mrs. Reed panicked and screamed, Ethan, what are you doing? How dare you punish me? Aren't you afraid Luna will get mad? I said with a cold face, What is Luna? You crossed my bottom line. Drag her out. The bodyguards quickly came over and were about to restrain Mrs. Reed when she suddenly screamed like a madwoman. No, don't touch me. You can't treat me like this. I'm going to call Luna. Just wait and see you'll have to kneel and apologize. What call what? I shouted angrily. Throw her out. Mrs. Reed had completely lost her mind, wildly struggling while shouting that she was being wronged. I was only here to clean. I don't know who left the room like this. Is that so? I looked at the man who had just stopped Mrs. Reed. He was the butler's son, Ryan Lewis, a graduate of a prestigious business school. Is what she says true? Ryan Lewis hurriedly said, She's lying. She wasn't assigned to clean this room today, and I saw her rifling through Madam's things with my own eyes. She was even wearing the jade bracelet Madam loved most. You liar. How dare you lie to me? I was furious. Seeing Mrs. Reed wearing the heirloom imperial green bracelet that my mother had expressly told me to reserve for my future wife sent me into a trembling rage. You're asking for death. Slap her for me. The bodyguard was about to make a move when Mrs. Reed hurriedly hid the bracelet and kept making excuses. I didn't do it on purpose. You're going to marry my daughter someday. This bracelet will be ours Reed family sooner or later. What's wrong with me wearing it a few days early? If you don't agree, I'll just take it off. I'll never marry you. Hit her. I snapped angrily. The bodyguard's large palm slapped Mrs. Reed's face hard. 2 blows left her face red, swollen, and even bleeding. Ah! Mrs. Reed let out a piercing scream. How dare you have him hit me? You'll never marry my daughter in your life. I laughed in disbelief. Thanks for the good wishes. I stepped forward and snatched the bracelet back, then looked at the butler. Call the police. Go search her room again. See what else she stole. This is outrageous. She could forget ever getting out of prison in this lifetime. The butler said excitedly, Yes, young master. I've told you this Mrs. Reed has dirty hands for a long time, but you kept telling me not to make a fuss. Who knows how much she's stolen over the years. Luckily, I kept records. I guarantee we can keep her in prison for 20 years. Mrs. Reed turned pale with fright, immediately dropped to her knees, and began banging her head on the floor. No, Ethan, young Master Ethan, you can't do this. Don't call the police. Otherwise, Luna will really hate you. How could you marry her if you do this? I cut her off? Marry? Marry what? At a time like this, you're still daydreaming? She's nothing. Let her go reflect properly in prison. Take her away. The bodyguards escorted Mrs. Reed out, and she kept struggling wildly. Young Master Ethan, did Luna make you upset? I'll tell her right now. How can you treat me like this? It's just that she took a few things. Does it have to be like this? Seeing that I remained unmoved, Mrs. Reed began to curse loudly. Ethan, do you really think you're something special? Let me tell you, if you dare send me to prison, don't even think about touching my daughter again. Even if you come begging on your knees and crying, I will. She hadn't finished speaking when the butler stepped forward and slapped her hard several times, saying coldly, How dare you? To scold the young master. No manners at all. You're asking for death. Ah! The slaps fell on an already swelling face. Mrs. Reed uttered an even more piercing shriek, her eyes full of terror, and she dared not speak again. Afterwards, the butler had people search Mrs. Reed's room and found a large pile of precious jewelry and gold. She even stole my parents' designer clothes, shoes, bags, and belt from when they were alive. The more I listened to the butler's report, the colder my gaze became. Someone like her absolutely cannot be forgiven. Hire the best lawyer. Make sure she receives the harshest sentence. The butler replied respectfully, Yes, young master, we will never go easy on her. Just then Ryan Lewis came in and said the police had arrived. I was about to have him follow procedure, and he added, Luna is back too. She's been clamoring to see you. I frowned and walked out. The moment I saw them, Luna pointed at me and shouted, Ethan, you bastard! Why did you call the police on my mother? You used such despicable means to get me. It's disgusting. I told you. Don't even think about it. Absolutely impossible. I sneered and said, your mother stole my mother's imperial green bracelet worth over $100 million, and she used to steal valuable items from our house to sell. Luna didn't believe it at all. Impossible? My mom wouldn't steal. You're slandering her. Then she looked at me with disgust. You used this kind of trick to force me to agree to be with you. How? Is that interesting? I don't have time to argue with a lunatic like you. I looked to the butler and told him to bring out the evidence he had collected, photos, videos, an inventory of the stolen goods, even the buyer's information, transaction times, and prices all written out clearly. Luna stared at the evidence, her face full of disbelief. No, this can't be true. She looked to Mrs. Reed. Mom, you're being framed, right? Mrs. Reed looked terrified and said, Mom was just confused for a moment. I thought those things would eventually belong to the Reed family anyway, so She clutched Luna's hand tightly. You have to make Ethan listen to you. Make him not call the police to arrest Mom. She hasn't enjoyed her life yet. Isn't he the one who listens to you the most? Luna was both angry and anxious. How can you be so foolish? Then she looked at me coldly. Although my mother was at fault first, putting the facts aside, who left your family's things lying around like that? Besides, I suspect someone deliberately set her up. She looked at me with contempt. With such a complete chain of evidence, you must have instructed the butler to coax my mother into stealing, all just to force me to agree to be with you. Luna, smug, as if she had seen through everything, apologized to my mother, then voluntarily give back all the things my mother accidentally took, and I'll agree to go to the movies with you. How about that? I looked at her like she was crazy. Are you out of your mind? Your mother stole things worth over $1 billion. And you think going to the movies with me will wipe that clean? And you want me to give the stuff to her? If you're sick in the head, go to a hospital. Don't bark here. Then I looked at the police. Arrest whoever needs arresting. Just as the police were about to move in, Luna suddenly blocked them, screaming, You disgusting man. Taking you to the movies is already the greatest favor anyone could do you. What more do you want? Even the police couldn't stand it. It was your mother who stole from them. If she doesn't get their forgiveness, she could be in prison for the rest of her life. Mrs. Reed panicked, gripping Luna's hand tightly. Daughter, just agree to master Ethan's terms. Luna still put on a brave face, trying to comfort Mrs. Reed. No way. Mom, don't let him scare you. Trust me, at worst she'll be locked up for a few days and then released, and he'll definitely buy you a villa and beg you to forgive him. I couldn't help laughing. A woman like you. Even if you were given to me, I wouldn't want you. Still deceiving yourself here. And talk about mercy? Go eat some trash. That would be my mercy to you. Her face turned ugly. What kind of person do you think I am? I'm a school belle, the independent female lead. There are plenty of people chasing me. I advise you. I cut her off impatiently. Let whoever you want chase you. Butler, throw all their things out of the Johnson house. The gifts I gave them before, keep them to sell, and donate the money to the orphanage. You, who cares about your stuff? Luna shouted in a rage. Don't regret it if you have the guts. Even if you gave me the company, I still wouldn't forgive you. Like I'd give it to you. I laughed and turned to go home. Please never forgive me. Luna raised her voice. Just keep being stubborn. Soon after, Mrs. Reed was taken away by the police, and her and Mrs. Reed's belongings were tossed out of the Johnson house like garbage. Then Luna couldn't hold back. At the doorway, she ranted angrily, cursing that I had colluded with the police to arrest her mother. After tiring herself out, seeing no one paid attention, she comforted herself, saying that as long as I admitted fault, it would be settled. I stood on the upstairs balcony, a steak in one hand and a glass of red wine in the other, looking down at the disheveled Luna and smiling. Weren't you the one who said you'd never forgive me? Luna felt a little embarrassed, then quickly became angry and said, Forcing me to agree like this is disgusting. But I'm magnanimous. I'll give you a chance. Apologize and that'll be it. Don't push your luck. Tell the police to release my mom immediately and prepare us a luxury dinner. I'm starving I want king crab, Australian lobster, caviar, Spanish ham, and A5 Wagyu. I said speechlessly, if you want to make a wish, go to church, thanks. I must be out of my mind to invite you to Big Buddha's home to worship. Get out now, or I'll call the building management. After saying that, I turned and walked away. Luna's face darkened. She picked up her things and left. One day you'll beg me to come back. Almost made me laugh. The next day at school, I had just stepped onto campus when Luna stopped me, wearing a look of displeasure as she said, "Are you really going to push this to such lengths? I can agree to be your close friend. That's already my biggest concession. At school, you'll still have to pretend to be the butler's son." She was afraid I'd expose her fake identity as the Johnson family's heiress. I didn't even look at her and walked right past. Luna went insane. "You bastard. You're never satisfied." Then she threatened me. "If you dare expose my identity, we'll never be together in this lifetime." Too bad I didn't care at all. Quite a few classmates had already seen me get out of the Rolls Royce. It wouldn't be long before the news spread. The more she feared losing face, the more I wanted to make her humiliated in public. When we got to the classroom, Luna kept explaining to everyone, saying that the steward had conspired to cause trouble and that she'd already punished us. I told you, how could Luna be a fake rich daughter? You can fake your identity, but can you fake your temperament? Luna clearly has the bearing of a well-bred lady. Exactly. Some servants shouldn't get too cocky. Do they think dressing up as the young master fools us? You can smell the tackiness from a mile away, and they still have the nerve to come to school. What a thick skin. Luckily, Luna is beautiful and kind and doesn't make a fuss. Otherwise, he'd have been chased away already. Luna's sycophants and snobbish girlfriends kept praising her nonstop, lifting her up until she was walking on air. When I looked over, Luna immediately glared at me, warning me not to talk nonsense. I smiled and said, "Already kicked out of the Johnson house and still lying here? Your mother is in prison, and you still have the mood to go to school?" "No way," the classmates whispered. "Is she lying again?" Luna's face turned ugly, and her lapdog immediately stepped forward to refute. "Can't get Luna, so you spread rumors. Aren't you disgusting? Do you think we believe you?" "Exactly. Who doesn't know you used to fawn over my Luna the most?" Her close friend looked at me with disgust. "Have you forgotten you used to bring us breakfast every day? By the way, where's today's breakfast? Where's my chicken sandwich? You didn't forget, did you? Be careful, or my Luna will ignore you. My vegetable salad, my shrimp pasta, my cheeseburger combo." Several bootlicking girlfriends spoke up one after another, looking at me with unfriendly eyes. "We're all starving. Hurry up and bring out the breakfast." The original woman was such a fool. To pursue Luna, she even fawned over Luna's sycophants and girlfriends, covering breakfast and lunch, and taking them out for meals and to parties on weekends. In the end, she was left despised by everyone. I said coldly, "Am I your father? Do I owe you anything? Is your family so poor you can't even afford a meal? Are you spreading rumors? Go ask the Johnsons and you'll find out, or check with the police." The face of the simp and her girlfriends darkened, while the classmates erupted. "Oh my God, could it be true? Luna is a fake heiress?" Ethan seemed so calm, but Luna, I believe Ethan, because this morning I saw him get out a Rolls Royce, and he was wearing haute couture worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is ridiculous. I told you yesterday Luna was swearing she'd fire Ethan, and today Ethan's acting like nothing happened. Who's lying here? Shall I go ask tomorrow? Luna glared at me fiercely and snorted, "I just didn't want to be too harsh, but I didn't expect him to take advantage. Don't worry, he'll be severely punished soon." Her bootlicker immediately jumped in. "What an ungrateful wretch." Her best friend chimed in, "You can't fake it, and if it's fake it still won't work. Time will prove who truly belongs to the lower class." I couldn't be bothered to argue with them. It would only stoop me down. "I'll be watching. Don't go back on your word later," I sneered. Both sides quieted down for the moment, but Luna still looked awful because her friend was complaining about missing breakfast. She had no choice but to take out $200 and send them to KFC. Watching the bootlickers go by KFC Luna's friends looked at me with triumphant expressions. I didn't want to pay any attention, but I couldn't stand it, so I had the butler buy dozens of fragrant crab yolk buns and handed them out to the other students in front of Luna and her friends. The simps and the girlfriends reflexively reached for them, and I slapped their hands away. Go ask your heiress for them. I'm just a butler's son and very poor. I didn't buy these for you. Then I sneered. They're only $200 each. Your Miss Luna won't be stingy about buying them for you, will she? They immediately got angry, accusing me of discrimination, and said that being willing to eat my food was doing me a favor. Don't be so ungrateful. Do you think you want to eat this? I laughed in disbelief. You don't have the right to spare me any face. If you don't want to eat it, don't put on a show here. They were about to say something, but the classmates weren't having it. They just insulted Ethan, and now they want to eat his food too? That's shameless. Exactly. How can they be so thick-skinned? If it were me, I'd be too embarrassed to ask. Were they a city wall in a past life? This crab roe bun costs several $1,000s. If Ethan says he'll pay, then let him. Some of those rich young ladies brag about how noble they are, yet they only treat everyone to $200 KFC. The bootlickers and the girlfriends immediately turned to Luna. The KFC in their hands suddenly lost its appeal. Luna, it's not that we like those greasy, mouth-watering big buns. It's that we can't swallow this humiliation. Let's prove it to them. But Luna shook her head and forced a smile. We can't waste the KFC. He's just pretending to be rich. They were very unwilling, watching their classmates holding fragrant crab roe buns, swallowing repeatedly. Are we still going to eat steak at noon? A simp suddenly asked. He was talking about the upscale steakhouse on the 6th floor of the cafeteria, where the original owner often treated them before. Luna couldn't refuse any longer and had to grit her teeth and agree. Yay, hear that. Luna is treating us to steak. Some people definitely can't afford that, right? Her best friend immediately sneered at me. Her sycophant chimed in, spending all your money on a few steamed buns? Where's the cash to treat us to steak? Not like Luna, so generous. But when I waved my hand and said I'd cover lunches for the next week, whatever they ate, everyone in class except for those few would be on my tab. They fell silent instantly. Hearing the classmates' taunts, their faces turned as ugly as if they'd eaten shit, and they hurriedly looked to Luna, hoping she'd salvage the situation. But Luna didn't respond. She just said that continuing like this was pointless. The simp and the close friends immediately became very downcast, but still protested stubbornly, saying I was just showing a nouveau riche attitude. I smiled and didn't argue with them. When I went to the bathroom after class, I happened to run into Luna. She glanced at me coldly and whispered, "Don't think you can force me to submit. Acting like this only makes me dislike you more. You, listen to me until I finish." Seeing me ignore her, Luna stamped her foot in anger. "You despicable, shameless person. You drove me away. You'll regret this." When I came back from the bathroom, I saw Luna acting intimate with the school's heartthrob, Dylan, in the hallway. When she noticed me looking, she gave me a smug glance and pressed even closer to Dylan. I was about to keep walking when I heard Dylan ask her, "I've heard some nasty rumors recently. Is someone spreading lies? I'll have them taken care of." I couldn't help but stop in my tracks, a slight smile tugging at the corner of my mouth. Luna panicked and hurriedly said it was just jealousy, telling Dylan not to take it to heart, then grabbed him and ran off. "We have peas soon. Let's go somewhere no one will be." I shook my head, sneered, and was about to go back to class when Luna's followers couldn't help but come over to mock me. "Oh, jealous are we? The school heartthrob has acknowledged Luna. She's the real rich daughter. She's someone you'll never get in your whole life. You, the son of a housekeeper, think a few bought meals make you the young master? Dream on. You aren't worth even one finger of Dylan's." "Exactly. I advise you to apologize to Luna nicely, buy us lunch again at noon, and give us a few $1,000s in gifts to make up for it. Maybe then you can still be friends with Luna. Otherwise, you really won't have a chance. Oomph. We almost got fooled by you. There's no doubt about Luna's identity. We haven't forgotten how much you used to brown-nose Luna." "Stop. Ethan, keep on doting on my Luna. What a self-deception. I snorted. That kind of trash? I wouldn't take it even if it were given to me. Only you lot treat her like a treasure. With that, I shoved past them and returned to the classroom. Keep bragging. Who knows how jealous you are inside? You'll regret losing this chance. They shouted after me, but I couldn't have cared less. Because their baby Luna was about to be ruined. If I remember correctly, during the upcoming PE class, Luna would be in the music club's activity room with Dylan doing something shameful, wanting to give Dylan the most beautiful youth memory. The original protagonist was such a fool. He was tricked by Luna into standing watch outside the activity room for them. The girl he'd been chasing for so long was intimate with someone else inside, and he didn't notice anything wrong. He even thought it was his fault for not doing enough, so he turned around and gave Luna a Porsche. In the end, that Porsche was quickly treated by Luna as a token of affection and given to her good friend Dylan, and the original protagonist didn't dare make sound. The original owner ended up living like a clown, while Luna became the grand heroine, beautiful all on her own. Absolutely outrageous. Luckily, the classmates were about to become adults. It was time to show them an adult movie. Not long after class started, the PE teacher let everyone have free time. Seeing Luna pulling Dylan toward the music club room, the corners of my mouth couldn't help but lift. After signaling my good buddy, I strolled over to the homeroom teacher's office. Teacher, I just saw several people with dyed, yellow hair sneaking into the school. They look up to no good and might harm the girls. As soon as I entered the office, I found the homeroom teacher with a frantic expression. The homeroom teacher immediately called the security guards and told me to lead the way. A few minutes later, the homeroom teacher, 3 security guards, and a crowd of students my buddy had tricked into coming to watch in the name of excitement rushed to the door of the music club room. The door hadn't even been opened when strange gasping sounds came from inside. Everyone froze. While they hesitated, I said anxiously, "A female classmate is being bullied." The security guard immediately smashed open the locked door and was about to rush in, but the scene inside stunned everyone. Luna was bent over, supporting herself on the table, and Dylan was holding her from behind. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. The crowd was shocked and bewildered. Some even showed looks of envy, wanting to take the place of one of them, and the scene descended into chaos. Ah! A piercing scream rang out. Luna turned and saw everyone, her face full of terror. She hurriedly grabbed her skirt to cover herself. Dylan also looked flustered and quickly picked up his tracksuit to put on. The homeroom teacher recovered, quickly shut the door, and dispersed the students. "Don't make a scene. Everyone disperse." Then she turned back and spoke sternly. "Luna, Dylan, hurry up and put your clothes back on." The students all lingered not far away, unwilling to leave. Some were still savoring what had just happened, while others looked distraught and indignant. Of course, more of them were there just for the spectacle, continuing to mock and laugh. Before long, Luna's cries came from the activity room. "Wah! Teacher, you go first. Let us have some peace." The homeroom teacher refused, scolding. "The teacher wants peace too. Avoidance won't solve anything. If this escalates, you'll be disciplined, even expelled." Luna only then opened the door, her face still full of shock, tear streaks on her cheeks, her eyes red, sobbing. The homeroom teacher said coldly, "What on earth is going on with you? With you like this, how am I supposed to explain it to your parents? School is a place for learning, not... Never mind. How do you want to handle this?" Although the school allows students to date, this kind of public misconduct is undoubtedly an affront to the school. No school wants to be talked about as an institution that neglects its duties. "It's my fault. Punish me if you must." Dylan, very responsible, hugged Luna, and Luna was moved to tears. The homeroom teacher said, reproachful and disappointed, "You're ruining yourself. If this gets out, how can you possibly stay at this school?" Although this is an elite school with relatively open-minded views, this kind of thing would certainly become the laughingstock of the whole campus. Students not far away were already pointing and whispering, even wildly filming with their phones. Luna's face went instantly ashen, but Dylan said firmly, I'll take responsibility for Luna. At worst, we'll transfer schools. Luna hugged Dylan tightly, unable to hide the joy in her eyes. This is ridiculous. I actually helped her win back her white moonlight. No way, I'm really upset. Dylan is 185 centimeters tall, has 8-pack abs, and come from a good family. Isn't that too good for Luna? I, who hadn't left yet, immediately stepped forward to advise, you need to think this through. Some people aren't as glamorous as they seem. Don't be stupid enough to throw yourself away for them. Luna snapped, remembering her earlier humiliation, and screamed, Bastard! You're the one who filed the complaint. How disgusting can you be? Go to hell. Then she looked at Dylan, piteously saying, Don't listen to him. He's lying to you. He smeared me to get me. I'm really the Johnson family's heiress. I laughed out loud at her words. Don't you feel ashamed saying that? Besides, what you did has nothing to do with me. I was just here to catch those blonde guys. I happened to run into you. Luna's face darkened, and she cursed viciously. Catch blonde guys. Shut up. What you say alone can't prove anything. Is that so? I couldn't help the corner of my mouth rising as I looked at the homeroom teacher. Teacher, would you say Luna is the daughter of my Johnson family? A look of panic flashed across Luna's face as she abruptly turned to stare at the homeroom teacher. The homeroom teacher shook her head and sighed. Luna, I can't stand by and watch you make mistake after mistake. Luna panicked. No, teacher, you can't do this. You can't help the bad guys. The homeroom teacher said coldly. She was never a Johnson heiress. The only reason she could attend this school was because young Master Ethan took pity on her, yet she actually thinks she's part of the Johnsons. Luna went pale, and the homeroom teacher went on exposing her. Her surname is Reed. Her name is Luna. She was never any Luna Johnson. It was young Master Ethan who asked me to hide her identity. The crowd gasped. Oh my God, this is huge. So Luna really is a fake heiress. Ethan is the real young Master Johnson. Unbelievable. That Luna really is the nanny's daughter? Young Master Ethan treated her so well, and she's still not satisfied. She actually throws herself at that pretty boy Dylan? Is she out of her mind? Exactly, but she actually did get Dylan to the activity room. How awful. Dylan was my idol before, and he's being so responsible. Responsible my ass. He's probably furious now. Going from Johnson family heiress to the nanny's daughter. If word gets out that he was fooling around with the nanny's daughter in the activity room, he'll be ridiculed to death. His family would beat him to death too. Look, his face is completely green. Damn it, that slut really knows how to seduce people. She's ruined my idol. Luna's face was as pale as paper. She screamed that the homeroom teacher was lying. She took Ethan's money. She's just buttering up men. She turned and gripped Dylan's hand tightly, pleading, Dylan, you'll believe me, won't you? The people who lie to me are the ones I hate the most. Dylan's face was dark with anger, clearly having realized what was going on. He shrugged Luna's hand off and walked away. Let the teacher punish me however she wants. I don't care. Luna collapsed to the ground in agony. No, you can't. You said you'd be with me forever. You said you'd take responsibility for me. You're expelled. Go back and pack your things and get out. The homeroom teacher gave her no sympathy and turned to leave. I'll ask the principal to take disciplinary action. I was just about to leave when Luna suddenly rushed over and screamed at me like a madwoman. You bastard. Beast. I hate you. Don't think I'll give in because of this. I'm telling you, even if I have to sell myself, I won't be with you. Sell if you want, don't tell me. I said, full of disgust. Why would I want something someone else has already used? You're far too full of yourself. I have tens of billions of dollars. What do you have? The classmates echoed in agreement. Exactly. Is she crazy? Still lost in her own world, thinking she's a swan? Poor people are like that, always daydreaming. What kind of woman could Master Ethan not find? How could he possibly fancy some second-hand goods like her? If he didn't mind, I'd marry him myself. Classmate, aren't you a bit too blunt? But I do feel sorry for her. Hope she gets killed. Ugh, she reeks of poverty. Even if she were given to me for free, I'd be afraid of catching something. From being idolized by everyone before to being despised by all now, Luna had completely lost her mind. So what if that's the case? What do you all know? Ethan was the one fawning over me. This was all his plot. He must be freaking out inside. I won't agree to it. He'll never find a girl as outstanding as me in his whole life. I shook my head and looked at her with pity. Just as I was about to leave, a graceful figure suddenly came up beside me, tightly grabbed my arm, and nervously said with a small face, Can I be your girlfriend? I froze for a moment, then turned to look. The girl's face was pure and fair, as beautiful as a painted portrait, somewhat like a famous actress. Clad in a JK uniform, her curves were outlined, and she had a pair of long legs. An innocent face, paired with a killer body, was especially captivating. Most striking was that she openly held onto my arm. The softness at her chest left my arm feeling almost short of breath, and the affection in her eyes couldn't be hidden. She was the school belle Sophia, the heiress of the Taylor Group. I smiled and said, "Of course." Sophia hugged me tighter, excited. What a steal. I'd picked up such a pretty girlfriend for free. Just as I was pleased, Luna suddenly screamed. "Ethan, you hired her to trick me, didn't you? Tell me, how much did you spend?" She looked at me with disdain. "Don't think you can rile me up with that. I wouldn't compete with her." I was about to retort when a sudden warmth touched my cheek. Sophia suddenly stood on tiptoe and kissed me. She looked at Luna coolly and said, "May I ask what qualifications you have to compete with me? Whether it's family background, looks, or education and manners. In what way can you compare to me? Stop being jealous of Ethan and me, okay? Don't you feel like a clown?" Luna's face went sour. She wanted to argue, but the classmates couldn't hold back anymore. Is Luna out of her mind? Does she think she can compare to Sophia's daughter? She isn't worth even one of Sophia's fingertips. She's about the same as a stray dog on the street. Aha! I'm dying laughing. So stubborn. We'll give her 2 slaps to wake her up. A fake rich girl meets a real rich girl. Can she not be anxious? Damn it. How can our school have someone who looks like a beggar? Get out of our school. This isn't a messy place. Luna turned away in shame and left, then screamed back at me. Satisfied? Don't think that wound will heal easily. What a nutcase. I ignored her, wrapped my arm around Sophia's slender waist, and went for a walk on the playground. I asked if what she just said was true. You wouldn't have said that on purpose just to help me, would you? Sophia immediately kissed me again and said, "Of course not. I've had a crush on you for ages." Her pretty face flushed slightly. I laughed loudly, leaned down, and kissed her hard, sweet and soft. Sophia shyly tapped me, cheeks all bashful, and a warm rush filled my chest. Damn, Sophia is 100 times better than Luna. That Luna. Don't talk about kissing. She wouldn't even let me touch her hand. The moment I got a little close, she accused me of having filthy thoughts. Not long after we returned to the classroom, Luna came to pack her things. She saw me and was about to lose it, but a few figures blocked her. "Bitch, how dare you lie to us? You made us offend young Master Ethan," a girl screamed, slapping Luna across the face. Slap! Luna's cheek instantly swelled and reddened. "Ah!" Luna screamed in pain, clutching her face, disbelief written all over her. "Why did you hit me? Was I ever mean to you?" Luna's former best friend said with a face full of disgust. "We're talking about you, you bitch. Were you pretending to be the Johnson heiress?" "Exactly. A slut who sleeps with any man and acting like some noble rich miss." Her ex-Slickspittle yelled, "Apologize to us, or this isn't over. Apologize. Do you hear me? Kneel and apologize," the former best friend screamed. Luna's face was full of pain and humiliation. How can you treat me like this? I was so good to you." "Bullshit. Did you do us any favors?" "That's Master Ethan." "You lied to us and still act like you've got a point." The ex-simp said angrily, "You still won't kneel? I've got plenty of ways to deal with a bitch like you." He dyed his hair yellow, his gaze scanning Luna's body without restraint, full of mockery. I planned to watch the show, but Luna suddenly screamed at me. "Bastard, Ethan, it's you. You were the one who ordered them to bully me, weren't you? You son of a... The former simp suddenly kicked her. What are you screaming for? Try slandering Master Ethan again? We're doing penance here. Are you going to apologize or not? Luna clutched her stomach in pain, screaming wildly. I won't apologize. Even if you beat me to death, I won't apologize. Fuck you. The ex-best friend and the former simps immediately beat Luna with fists and kicks, leaving her bruised and battered. Bitch still pretending. Too easy on you. Beat her until she apologizes. Luna screamed miserably, constantly glancing at me, her eyes full of pleading. But I didn't look at her again at all, showing no intention of stopping them. In the end, someone still went to fetch the teacher, and that farce finally stopped. Luna, why haven't you gotten out yet? How dare you bully your classmates? The homeroom teacher didn't defend her and gave her no kind words. Luna was utterly desperate. She shot me a resentful glare and ran off in tears. I hate you to death. You've lost me forever. I couldn't be bothered with this lunatic. I figured only by completely crushing her would she wake up. At noon after school, I was about to go to the cafeteria to eat when those ex-simp and ex-besties suddenly came up to me to beg for forgiveness. Young Master Ethan, are you satisfied? Can you forgive us? We know we were wrong. From now on, we're willing to work ourselves to the bone for you. I said coolly, with only this little sincerity, you expect to wipe the slate clean? Still want to keep taking advantage of me? Do you think I'm easy to bully? Their faces turned very ugly. Then what does young Master Ethan want? How about we go teach Luna a lesson again? Or young Master Ethan can have us do whatever he wants. My former best friend looked at me eagerly, even tugging her camisole down to reveal her pale skin. I looked at her with disgust and curled my lip. I'm magnanimous, but don't ever let me see you again. Their expressions turned uglier. That meant they were going to be expelled. They tried to plead, but I snapped at them. Still not leaving? They slunk away and immediately went to submit their withdrawal requests. When I walked out of the classroom, Sophia was already waiting for me. She clutched my arm tightly again and said she wanted to go home with me that night. I reluctantly agreed. After school in the afternoon, just as I walked out the school gate and was about to get in the car to leave, Luna suddenly appeared and blocked me. My bodyguards were about to move, but I stopped them, frowned at Luna, and said, Didn't you hate me to death? Didn't you say you'd never be with me even if you died? So why are you shamelessly clinging to me now? Luna's face looked terrible, but she still said she would give me a chance. I could be your girlfriend. Hurry and go explain to everyone that I'm the Johnson family's heiress, and you're just the son of our butler. Also, mind your own business about Dylan and me, and let my mom out. I couldn't help but sneer. Are you out of your mind? Still deluding yourself after all this time? Why on earth would I want a second-hand girl like you? With a rich school beauty like Sophia, wouldn't she be better for me? Luna said righteously. How could she compare to me? You just want to have me, don't you? I'll just keep my distance from Dylan in the future. I laughed out loud. Where does your confidence come from? Do you listen to courage every day to brainwash yourself? I looked at Sophia and poked my cheek with my finger. Sophia immediately understood, stood on tiptoe, and gave me a kiss. I smiled and said, See, you can't even compare to one finger of Sophia's. Don't make a fool of yourself here. Saying that, I was about to wrap my arm around Sophia and get into the car to leave. Luna panicked, hurriedly saying, Things that come easily aren't good. You're acting. I'm even willing to be your girlfriend. What more do you want? She was so upset she was about to cry. Don't you get it yet? In my eyes, you're not even worth a fart. I'd refuse you even if you were given to me for free. And you're still deceiving yourself. I sneered. Sophia giggled and said, Sister, take a look in the mirror. No money, no status, no education or manners. You're completely unworthy of Ethan. You're just a pretty face. Guys like Ethan can have as many girls like you as they want. Why are you acting like a princess when you're just second-hand goods who's already been played by someone else? Wake up. Someone like you wouldn't even get a chance to see Ethan in person. So why put on airs? I thought I helped Sophia into the car and said, Why say so much to her? We won't have anything to do with her from now on. Luna refused to believe it. No, It's not like that. Don't you like me? You must be testing me, right? Tell me what you want. Seeing I didn't even look at her, she panicked completely and rushed over. No, you cannot like me. I want you to like me. Slap. The butler beside them closed the car door, slapped her to the ground, and said with a face full of disgust, "Ill-bred thing. Come any closer and I'll break your legs. Worthless creature." Luna lay on the ground, pleading bitterly. I was wrong. I really was wrong. As long as you forgive me, I'll do anything. I'll warm your bed. I'll never see Dylan again. Seeing the car start, and I hadn't looked at her once from beginning to end, Luna completely lost it. You bastard. Just you wait. Sister Olivia won't let you get away with this. She will stand up for me. When she comes back tomorrow, you'll get what's coming to you. And don't beg me then. I sneered. Of course I'm waiting. Waiting for the Olivia. She keeps mentioning Olivia to come back. And then I'll kick her out of the Johnsons with one boot. Olivia is my sister, but she's illegitimate. My father's housekeeper secretly used one of his discarded condoms to get herself pregnant, hoping to climb up through the child. In the end, she was sent abroad. Only Olivia was kept behind. Before my father died, he didn't leave her a penny of inheritance. The will only had my name on it, with the sole instruction not to let Olivia starve to death. But Olivia and Luna became close friends, using the slogan "Girls Help Girls" to encourage the original owner to give Olivia the position of company general manager. When the original owner finally signed a share transfer agreement, Olivia did a lot to help Luna stabilize the internal chaos of the company. Olivia, taking advantage of the original owner's fondness for Luna and believing she couldn't be offended, would constantly invoke family law, even whipping the original owner and reveling in the pleasure of taking revenge on the legitimate son. They really showed their faces. Back home, after a hearty dinner, I had planned to walk Sophia home, but she refused. After she showered, she let me hold her for a long time before reluctantly leaving. Her figure was great. She was so well behaved, and she even let me slowly undo her sexy nightgown. I really liked her so much. The next day was Saturday. A Porsche 911 screeched into my driveway, and a woman stepped out, branded head to toe, heavy with perfume, and wearing heavy makeup. Olivia saw me and snapped. You bastard! How could you abandon Luna? Hurry up and bring her back. Treat her well, coax her, apologize to her. You even put Mrs. Reed in prison? You're insane. Let her out and apologize to her. Apologize my ass. I snarled. Olivia, as if her authority had been challenged, grew angry. I think you're asking for it. She looked at the butler and ordered, carry out the family discipline. Seeing the butler unmoved, Olivia's face turned very ugly. My words don't carry any weight anymore, do they? The butler said calmly, Miss, please conduct yourself properly. The house has always been run by the young master. Olivia said darkly, if you still recognize me as the miss of the house, then give me family punishment, or I'll fire you. The butler gave a professional smile. Without the young master's orders, you can't fire me. You, Olivia bristled, glaring at me. Look at the servants you're in charge of. No discipline at all. Fire him, I said coldly. Who do you think you are, to boss me around? Olivia flew into a rage. Are you rebelling? Aren't you afraid of Luna getting angry? I'm your sister. Don't I have the right to control you? I snorted. You, a mistress's daughter. Don't bark orders at me. You've been spoiled these years and forgotten your place, haven't you? You bastard. How dare you say that about me? Olivia snapped, rushing forward to slap me. I'll deal with you for your father today. Let's see who dares stop me. The butler was about to step in, but I raised a hand to stop him, then suddenly slapped Olivia to the ground, sneering, You've got some nerve. A mistress's daughter, and you dare hit me? Ah! Olivia screamed, clutching her face, disbelief all over her features. You actually hit me? Oh! She flew into a rage. I said coldly, So what if I hit you? This is my home. Who gave you the right to run wild here? I won't just hit you. I'll kick you out of the Johnsons. Olivia was stunned, screaming, Are you insane? I'm your sister. What right do you have to kick me out? She turned to the bodyguards and ordered, Take him away. Use family discipline. Seeing the bodyguards merely sneer and stand still, Olivia completely panicked. You've all turned against me. Ah. I laughed and looked at the butler. Do I have the right to drive her out? The butler said seriously, there's always been only one master of the Johnson family. You young master. If you want someone expelled, all it takes is your word. Olivia was frightened. She suddenly remembered that I was no longer that boot-licking doormat who obeyed Luna without question. She no longer had any chips to threaten me with. I was wrong, okay? I shouldn't have spoken to you like that. I just don't want you to miss Luna. She immediately softened. Miss Luna, I seem to hear the biggest joke. You mean that woman who toyed with me, took my gifts but wouldn't accept me, messed around with other boys at school, made a fool of herself, got expelled and still clung to me? You wanted to take back a second-hand goods and keep it? You bastard. I snapped. I already kicked her out. What missed opportunity are you talking about? You actually want to ruin me. Butler, strip Olivia of her general manager position. Olivia went mad, panic written all over her face. No, you can't miss it. I didn't miss it. Don't strip my position. Seeing that I remained unmoved, and after the butler had already conveyed the order, the company's dismissal text message was soon sent to Olivia's phone. Olivia's face contorted into a snarl. You bastard. Without me, those few projects in my hands will be ruined. Just wait. Your company will go bankrupt. I couldn't help but laugh. You, an art major. What ability do you have? Responsible for projects? You don't mean those projects you oversaw when you went on a few business trips to play and dumped all the dirty, tiring work on your subordinates, do you? How did you know? Olivia cried in disbelief. You had people follow me. How disgusting can you be? Before I could speak, the butler stepped forward and said, I did it. The young master's business. How could it be allowed to be ruined by you? Olivia, frantic with anger, said, You're a servant and you dare do this? What benefit do you get from it? The butler smiled. It's what I should do. I'm very satisfied with the butler and plan to double his salary. Also, I looked at Ryan Lewis and said, From now on you will be the company's deputy general manager. Those projects she's handling, you'll take over the coordination. No problem, right? Ryan Lewis was ecstatic. I guarantee I'll exceed the targets. I nodded in approval, but Olivia shouted, He's a loser. Why should he be deputy general manager? He'll only mess the projects up. He's been fired from the company before. I sneered. He was fired because you were sabotaging him behind his back, wasn't he? Back then you were jealous of Ryan's ability, deliberately giving him the short end of the stick, and even feeding him false data to make him mess up. Don't think I don't know. He's a graduate of a top business school. Could you at least show some respect for someone else's degree? Olivia said fearfully, How do you know everything? I curled my lip and continued. Ryan is 100 times more capable than you. Pack your things and get out. Nothing that belongs to the Johnson family is allowed to be taken. Butler. The butler immediately had someone deal with it. Olivia looked desperate. Ethan, are you really going to be this ruthless? Seeing my gaze on her as cold, as if looking at trash, she went utterly mad. How dare you treat me like this? I'll expose you. I'll let everyone see your true colors. You actually kicked your own sister out of the house. I'll ruin your reputation and disgrace the Johnson Group. I said calmly, unruffled. Is that so? Then what about your embezzlement of company funds? Help me decide. Should I call the police? Olivia's pupils contracted. She collapsed to the floor, utterly terrified. Don't do this. I beg you. I won't expose it, okay? I looked down, lightly patted her powdered face, and said with a smile, Behave yourself and leave with nothing. Don't look for death, understood? After saying that I was about to leave, Olivia suddenly clung to my leg. Ethan, give me a chance to turn over a new leaf, please? I was wrong. Sister was wrong. It won't happen again. I'll cut ties with Luna. I mercilessly kicked her away. Get lost. What you did before is enough to kill you dozens of times. You idiot, being used as Luna's pawn. Do you think she'd dare show her face to me? After saying that, I went straight back into the room. Olivia tried to climb in, but was stopped by the butler. He looked down at her from above. "Young miss, you should leave." Olivia cursed. "You servant, are you proud that your son became deputy general manager? How scheming of you." "You, she screamed, was suddenly slapped hard by the butler. Then he grabbed her by the throat and lifted her up. "I make $1 million a year. What are you? How dare you look down on me? Do you really think you're a young miss?" The butler's expression was icy and utterly indifferent. "You bastard! Let go of me! You mangy servant!" Olivia struggled and screamed wildly, her face full of humiliation. The butler ignored her entirely, raising his hand to slap her mercilessly, leaving her face swollen, red, and bleeding. "I've never liked you, you illegitimate daughter. What right do you have to bully the young master? How dare you act high and mighty in front of me? When I came to the Johnsons, your thieving mother hadn't even arrived. Keep it up and I'll beat you to death." The butler's eyes were filled with loathing and fury. Olivia was terrified and shook her head frantically. Seeing this, the butler threw her to the ground and ordered the bodyguards, "Throw this trash out. If she causes any more trouble, beat her to death." In the end, under the bodyguards' resentful glares, Olivia slunk out of the Johnson house. Afterwards, she knelt at the Johnson house gate, trying to win my pity, but received no response after waiting a long time and could only sit on the ground in a daze. At that moment, Luna ran over and asked her what had happened. Olivia's dazed eyes finally regained some life. She grabbed Luna's hair like a madwoman, scratched her face, and screamed, "It's all your fault, you bitch! You got me kicked out of the Johnson family. Gordy." Luna wasn't to be trifled with either and immediately fought back. "You ungrateful wretch. If it weren't for me back then, would you have what you have today?" The two crazed women wrestled each other, and I watched from upstairs with great relish. Soon I reported it to the police and froze Olivia's bank accounts because she embezzled company funds. With that leverage in my hands, I wasn't afraid of her causing any more trouble. For a while afterward, Luna and Olivia kept running into me, trying to win me back, even offering to be my warming bed maid and nanny. They racked their brains and humbled themselves, but I ignored them completely, treated them like air, didn't even give them a chance to speak, and had my bodyguard block them. The two of them had just finished fighting and yet could still get together, so they must have some scheme. After some time, Luna and Olivia felt increasingly desolate. The sense of loss and self-esteem erosion grew stronger, and in the end they had no choice but to give up and try to attach themselves to Dylan. But Dylan cruelly humiliated them and drove them away. Of course they wouldn't give up. They caused a scene under Dylan's building, shouting that Dylan had seduced them and abandoned them, that he got bored and discarded them. Then Dylan was kicked out of his parents' home because I pressured their family company. They didn't want the company to collapse, so they sacrificed their son. The three of them, with nowhere left to turn, ended up gathering together again. But it wasn't long before their money ran out, and they could only work as hostesses at a bar. Because they were fairly good-looking, many customers requested them, and some even developed improper intentions toward them. At first they resisted, but going from a life of luxury to utter poverty, they couldn't bear earning slow money through regular work. Influenced by the bar's atmosphere, they gradually wavered. They started taking some quick money gigs. After the first time came the second. After a few times, they were completely addicted, taking more and more jobs, more and more frequently. Immersed in the thrill of making money quickly, unable to extricate myself. How could I resist helping them a bit? I deliberately found them some special customers to take care of their business. Before long, they contracted all kinds of STDs, even AIDS. The bar owner drove them out, and they also infected many customers. Those customers, furious, beat them soundly and took all the money they had on them. With nowhere else to go, they could only eke out a living in the urban villages, barely getting by offering cheap bulk services. But before long, a group of perverted old men and women moved in next door to them, sexually harassing them every day, even breaking into their place to molest and rape them, and threatening that if they dared to call the police, they would release the videos they had taken. After a while, unable to endure being bullied by those old men and women every day, the three of them were completely despairing and even considered suicide. At that moment, I extended a helping hand. Having someone deliver a message saying that I was feeling generous could cure their illnesses and could take them back to the Johnson household to enjoy wealth and honor. But I could only take one person. For now, it was decided to take Luna, and I told them to wait for news in 3 days. The 3 people, driven mad by illness and humiliation, completely lost their minds. Although they knew this might be false, they had no other choice. During the struggle, Luna was accidentally struck to death. Immediately after, Olivia was beaten by Dylan so badly that her head was split, and she fell into a coma from grievous injuries. Just as Dylan was cheering like Fangine passing the exam, the police arrived and took him away, and he was ultimately sentenced to life imprisonment. He screamed frantically, claiming it was all my doing behind the scenes, but there were no surveillance cameras in the urban village, and he had no evidence. Who would believe him? After that, Olivia accidentally died in the hospital. In the end, the Johnson Group and the Taylor Group formed a powerful alliance and successfully entered the top 5 private enterprises in the nation. I married Sophia, this rich and beautiful woman, and reached the pinnacle of my life.